'Tis time for an American Family News Update. I'm Bronson Woodruff. The director of the Secret Service is stepping down from her job, as according to an email she sent to staff. This after the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump that unleashed a lot of intensifying outcry about how the agency tasked with protecting current and former presidents could fail in its core mission. Kimberly Cheadle is the director. Well, now the former director. She had served as the Secret Service director since August of 2022. She'd been facing growing calls to resign and several investigations into how the shooter was able to get so close to the Republican presidential nominee at that outdoor campaign rally in Pennsylvania. She said, quote, "I take full responsibility for the security lapse." She said that in the email to staff on Tuesday. "In light of recent events, it is with a heavy heart that I have made the difficult decision to step down as your director." Despite the resignation, some lawmakers say that she will still be involved in an investigation into the attack on the former president.
We can still have her subpoenaed, even though she's resigned, to appear before different committees, judiciary, or before the Senate and other committees who are continuing this investigation. She can still be compelled by law to show up and answer questions, even though she's resigned.
Cheadle also admitted her agency was tipped off about a suspicious person multiple times before the shooting happened. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in Washington on Monday, and despite being the leader of America's greatest ally in the Middle East, nobody from the White House was there to greet him. The main purpose of Netanyahu's visit is a speech to a joint meeting of Congress, but at stake, in meetings with administration officials, are hopes for progress in U.S.-led efforts to mediate an end to the 9-month Israel-Hamas war right now. The visit comes as the toll of Palestinians killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza nears a reported 40,000. It's also in a week when new deaths were reported among the surviving hostages, who include Israelis, Americans, and other nationalities, held by Hamas and other militants since the first hours of the war. President Biden's, quote, "symptoms have almost resolved completely," end quote, from COVID-19. This according to his physician. The president on Monday remained out of the public view for the 5th straight day. Biden called into the Wilmington, Delaware headquarters of his former campaign during a visit by Vice President Kamala Harris, whose bid for the White House has been endorsed by Biden. The president sought to pep up the staff, urging them to give every bit of their heart and soul to Harris. Biden also vowed to be, quote, out on the road, campaigning for his vice president. He also said, quote, "If I didn't have COVID, I'd be standing there with you." Delta Airlines struggled for a 4th straight day to recover from a worldwide technology outage. We're told it was caused by a faulty software update. It stranded tens of thousands of passengers and drew unwanted attention from the federal government. Other carriers were returning Monday to nearly normal levels of service disruptions. This intensified the glare on Delta's relatively weaker response to the outage. That outage hit airlines, hospitals, and businesses all around the world. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg spoke to Delta's CEO Ed Bastian on Sunday about the airline's high number of cancellations since Friday. Buttigieg said his agency had received hundreds of complaints about Delta, but he expects the airline to provide hotels and meals for travelers who are delayed and to issue quick refunds to customers who do not want to be rebooked on a later flight. And that'll do it for this American Family News Update. Thanks for watching. I'm Bronson Woodruff.